The GPS satellites are an invention that serves us every day, from orientation in the field to navigation in ways. But did you know that they were born as a military secret? A secret that became public domain at tragic blood price. Hello, this is the Captain. In space there are two things that are very difficult to live without. First is the sun, the star that makes life exist here. The second is the network of GPS satellites. She is the one that allows us to know where we are, to get to work with minimal traffic, to find love around the corner, and yes, also to guide bombs to their target. In fact, the matter of the bombs was the trigger for establishing the network in general. So, how did she get to us? In 1957, the whole world was amazed when Russia launched the Sputnik, the first artificial satellite. The US had no idea what he was doing up there. So the Pentagon asked two scientists from Johns Hopkins University to develop a way to track him. They analyzed the radio signals sent by Sputnik, cross-referenced the arrival time with the location of the antenna, and knew where the satellite was. Then a senior scientist approached them and asked, "Hey, can it work the opposite way? Is there a way that satellites can know where we are?" And the answer turned out to be positive. In those days, the United States Navy was trying to develop a position detection capabilities for its missile submarines. They carried Polaris nuclear missiles, and the Navy feared the guidance error. This is a weapon that leaves the atmosphere and dives into the earth, so even a small mistake is a recipe for catastrophe. Go explain in France that you turned Paris into a burning parking lot because the missile went 3 degrees west. In the 60s and the 70s, several initial satellites positioning systems were built, which were complex and limited. But the next generation was supposed to be, whoa, an array of 24 satellites that will allow you to see at least 3 of them from any point in the world, and get an exact location, cutting the satellite signals. Each satellite will transmit a position on 2 frequencies to deal with atmospheric interference. In 1978, the first satellite was launched. GPS was born and the generals were happy. But the military secret didn't last long. On October 30, 1983, Korean Airlines Flight 007 took off from New York to Seoul. 23 crew members and 246 passengers sat on the plane after a refueling stop in Alaska. The plane continued to the Far East. In those days, pilots relied on inertial navigation, which calculates the flight angle and speed combined with an autopilot that maintains the path. And the flight crew 007 simply activated the automatic a little late. The jumbo divided from its course and entered Russia, and the crew didn't realize that they had made a mistake in the way. And when the plane passed over Kamchatka, the Soviet headquarters got nervous. In those days, the Americans often took a look at the missiles bases there in spy planes. Among them RC-135 planes, which had a shape and radar signatures similar to the jumbo. The Soviets launched fighter jets that quickly closed on Flight 007. The pilot reported that the target looks like a passenger plane. The Soviet command ignored it and gave the order to fire. An R-98 missile, originally designed to destroy bombers, hit the jumbo and tore into his body. The shocked Korean pilots tried to take control of it, but the plane planked as it disintegrated in the air. No one survived. The US defined the act as a massacre and a crime against humanity, while Russia firmly claimed that it was a spy plane. The tension between the powers reached a peak and remained even when the wreckage of the plane was found. And it was clear that a terrible crime has been committed here. And many airliner crashes continue to happen. US President Reagan ordered to disclose the GPS system and give access to every commercial company. And nowadays there is an accurate GPS for everyone. Other countries have established their own GPS network to avoid dependence on the United States. And so the GPS came to us and the errors of air navigation almost disappeared. And it's much more difficult to get lost.